We're talking football and fantasy football. We have Jeff Corchini and Russ Bliss in here from fantasyfootballstars.com. It's been a long time, guys. Great to see you. But what an exciting year, because it seems wide open at this point.
Yeah, it really, really is. And this is the time of the year, week 6, 7, 8, 9, you got to start managing your rosters. So we've got some injury updates, talk a lot about some sleepers and some surprises, huh, Russ?
Yeah.
Right, the one deal, though, you can't badmouth my Cowboys.
Oh, hey, we're going to be easy on that.
Don't worry, I badmouth them enough.
Well, let's go ahead and get started off with the injuries. And we'll start with, of course, Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Suffered the concussion last week. However, he was able to practice. He's probable on the injury report. Looks like as though he's going to be able to start this morning. Michael Vick has got the rib injury. He's still another week or two away from coming back, so Kevin Cobb will get the start. In Cleveland, Jake Delhomme and Seneca Wallace both have high ankle sprains. So Colt McCoy, the rookie from Texas, gets his first NFL start.
See what you got, Colt.
Jay Cutler comes back from his concussion. He'll start today for the Chicago Bears. And Bruce Gradkowski for the Oakland Raiders. Shoulder injury, may be active, but he's going to be the backup to Jason Campbell this week. Then at running back, we've got Darren McFadden for Oakland. He may be active, but if he is, he's just going to be the backup to Michael Bush. Michael Bush will get all the carries today. Peyton Hillis of the Cleveland Browns, thigh muscle strain. He's going to give it a go today, so he's going to be out there against Pittsburgh. Pierre Thomas is out with an ankle injury, and tight end Jermichael Finley of the Green Bay Packers, he's probably going to miss the rest of the regular season with the knee injury. However, they're not going to put him on injured reserve because they hope he can come back for the NFL playoffs.
Huge blow there. Yeah, huge blow. Now, when you talk about fantasy football, of course, you got to be cognizant of the bye weeks because those could kill you.
Yeah, and this week we got the Cardinals. They're on a bye, so you don't want to be starting Larry Fitzgerald or Max Hall. We'll talk about him a little bit later. And then you got the Buffalo Bills. They're on a bye. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fred Jackson. You can't start those guys. Also Carolina Panthers. So no D. Williams isn't going. James Stewart isn't going to go. And then you got the Cincinnati Bengals. So your boy T.O., you can't start T.O. You got to sit that guy in Carson Palmer. Got to pay attention to those bye weeks.
The dynamic duo, Ocho Cinco and T.O. You got to love them. Exciting TV indeed.
That is true.
Now, when you talk about sleepers, because there are quite a few of them, you know, when you look at fantasy football, you start the guys who have the big names, but there's been some people out there producing who aren't so big as far as the name is concerned.
Yeah, Russ has got a super sleeper that he's thinking about.
Well, first you got to talk about someone that's been a big surprise so far this year.
Yeah, Kyle Orton. How about Kyle Orton? Can you believe that, Javier? Here he gets traded from Chicago to Denver. The guy is unbelievable right now. He's thrown for 1,700 yards. He's got 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Who would have thought that he would be out passing Peyton Manning and Drew Brees right now? Now, granted, he's a former Purdue boy, just like Drew Brees, but this guy has lit it up. And this is the exact reason why Josh McDaniels went out and got him, because he knew that system, he would spread the ball around, but I think he's definitely exceeded expectations this year, Javier.
We see that often. A lot of resurgence. People say, they're done, they're out of here. I mean, when you look at Mike Vick, he was a backup. He's a super sleeper. Not many people thought he'd step in there and produce the way he has.
Yeah, the way he went lights out and then bang, concussions. You know, concussions are impacting quarterbacks this season.
Yeah.
Definitely are, definitely. We were talking about that earlier. But as far as super sleeper, he's got one I can't even believe.
James Starks was a 6th-round pick by the Green Bay Packers, and he's been on the physically unable
to college. They got college. He hasn't even played in the NFL, Russ.
He tore it up, at the University of Buffalo. Was a 6th-round pick because he went to a small school at the University of Buffalo. He's been on the physically unable to perform list, and the Green Bay Packers, they know that Brandon Jackson's not the answer. They know that John Kuhn is not the answer. They didn't get Marshawn Lynch from Buffalo in trade, so I think they've been holding out, waiting to see what they have in James Starks here, and Starks could be a great super sleeper. We see it every year. There's a guy that usually comes in the second half of the season who lights it up, just like Jamal Charles and Jerome Harrison did last year. I think James Starks is definitely worth going ahead and grabbing and stashing on your fantasy bench right now.
Now, let me stop you here, because you can't talk about a super sleeper and not talk about Max Hall. Come on, the boy is wonderful here.
And as we go into and we talk about the Cardinals, Max Hall is a guy that is just, I mean, if you think about it, there's 3 things that you like about it, Max Hall. First of all, he's Arizona born and raised, right? He went to Mountain View High School, great player there. The other thing is he's a proven winner. This kid knows how to win. Russ and I were talking, reminds me a lot of Jeff Garcia, a lot of moxie, but he's also got blue blood, right, Javier?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Danny White is his uncle, and Todd Heap, who now plays for the Baltimore Ravens, played at ASU, is his second cousin. So this guy, there is something about him that Coach Wisenhunt sees and really, really likes. And you know what it is? He's done nothing but win. He's toughness. He won over his teammates. I mean, he gutted it out, right? Got banged up, got nailed a few times, and got back in there, and then just throwing darts and getting rid of that ball quickly. And it was amazing. Anybody that was listening to the game, Kurt Warner was doing the game, right? Yeah. And Kurt Warner said after, he kind of reminds him of himself. Now, granted, hasn't been there and done that yet, right? But here's a kid that's trying to prove himself, tough, undrafted. Wisenhunt saw something enough to let Leinart go and enough to say, hey, short leash on Derek Anderson, pulled it, let's go with the rookie.
You got to love that for him. If you're not producing, you know what, somebody will.
And it's going to get better for him now because the bye week that the Cardinals are on right now is going to allow Steve Breaston and early Doucette hopefully to come back healthy next week. Doucette, of course, has been missing all this time because of the groin injury, and Steve Breaston because of the knee injury. Hopefully both of these guys come back. The Cardinals will have their full complement of wide receiver weapons for Max Hall to be able to use going forward after the bye.
And Wiz has had 2 weeks to game plan for the next game. The other thing, too, is not a lot of guys have seen tape. The NFL has not seen tape on Max Hall. They don't know his tendencies. They're going back and they're looking at BYU tape, right, when he blew it up there. But I think this
YouTube, huh?
Yeah, this is an exciting time for the Cardinals, taking a shot at it.
I love the intangibles. He brings excitement, and he seems to bring the team chemistry back together.
Yes, he does, doesn't he?
Tell us about this free offer.
That's right. Every week we do it, Javier. We have a free offer for our championship plan, and this week, which Arizona Cardinals player recovered Max Hall's fumble and scored a touchdown last week versus the Saints? The first person to email jeff@fantasyfootballstarters.com, first person with the correct answer wins our championship plan. That's a $24.95 value. You can use all our lineup analyzer, all our analyzer tools, our trade analyzer, draft analyzer, team analyzer. You get our alerts. You get alerts from Russ to pick up guys like James Stark in the middle of the night, you know, when nobody's paying attention.
Yeah, can't beat that with the baseball bat. Love it. Guys, great information. Thank you very much. And you know what, that hit hurt me just watching it.
I still think I'm Batman after watching that.
He took a hit.